There was a time that I thought one day I would show my face and do a live reaction of reading a chapter. I know this can't be too many, but I thought, hey, I do get compelled by his greatness and react like a madman. Maybe I should do one. Well, I'm not that mad, but you get my point. I do get into the series a lot. If there was ever a time, it would have been for this chapter without a doubt. Not only this chapter is beautiful, that's right, I said it, and arguably the best chapter of the arc, I can say that Gintama has earned the best war arc in shonen. And it's not even over. It's not about how hard you can force people to care about something that are hard to grasp. It's not about being too dark so you can please the bloodthirsty audience. It's not about deaths. It's not even about pleasing the audience for their own personal needs. It's about what is perfectly right for your story, your writing, and your passion. It's about the soul that you put into a moment. And even if it may end up displeasing your fans, it is your work that brought the fans in the first place. The entire chapter is just one trip of heartache that wouldn't stop, and even after all the pain going through, it is simply a wonderful gem that was worth fighting through. The final monologue about fighting to live to the very end is essentially the final farewell that Takatsuki can't hear but can't feel it. It was Takechi's and Banzai's swan song, and I thought it was a trick that Sorochi is pulling. I just want to believe in a trap to force us to believe that they will die. I want him to pull a fairy tale moment, you know, where they will fake out a death. I don't care, I know what I just said earlier, but out of all series, this one I care the most. Once the action resumes, it was like listening a depressing soundtrack in the background. It's heading to that path of no return. Gintama is known to create a true final stand moment that can easily toy with your emotion on whether they will make it or not. It happened many times before, and some were lucky enough to live, but others weren't. Because of that, I believe every second of it that Banzai was going to die. I was cheering for him like I was actually there. Seriously, if I live record my reaction, I was acting like a football fan watching the Super Bowl when the door blows up in front of Banzai and an army with far too many to count appear. I wanted to cry. If Aspor can exist for one moment, just for one moment, if we have one card to play, it would be for this moment. This battle becomes downright tragic. After so many enemies he killed, he ended up with tons and tons of more enemies to fight, but he can't stand up anymore. I thought this was it, and it was just depressing to see him like that. What follows up is one of the beautiful and saddest moments I have read in years. Ninzo shockingly appears behind Banzai, which confused me to think that he was alive. The encouraging word about stepping stone is not only fitting, but it's a powerful message to Banzai's characters. After all these years, Banzai believes that the dead will remain hidden and wait for them to join them. Banzai always sees life as a stepping stone. But now, after these long, hard-fought battles, he finally sees the true light. The answer he sought for many years. Kihetai will never die because they will always be there. That scene is so powerful because at first I was confused to think Nizo was alive. The one panel has Banzai talking to no one besides him, and it finally hit me with a brick. He's at the death door. I, honest to God, whimpered when I learned that he's truly dying, and I couldn't flip the page. Yes, the double page is wonderful to look at, but the thought of his death is coming killed my motivation to read. The fact he got that message about living in a different way while best fitting to his character is deeply touching. It's his way to say that death isn't the end, and if that's the case, then his death is fine to happen. To add tons of salt to the wound, Takechi and his men were ready to take down the device to postpone the weapon activation. But no, Sorochi wants to rip your heart out because the cannon no longer operate. That one guy had me tearing up when he told Takechi that they have one more bullet to use, and they know they made the decision. It is the only option. I heavily sympathize with him. The presentation, what can I say? It's possibly the best work Sorochi has done this year so far. One of my favorite of the arc is Banzai's final stand with all of the dead Kihitai members. It's so tragic yet beautiful. I can't believe majority of them have died. I think Tatsuki and Makoto will be the only survivors, and that's downright depressing. The action continues to be top notch, even if it's not as much as the last chapter. The sequence of the final stand is outstanding, and it left me breathless. The ending is what I was afraid of the most, and without any pun intended, they at least go out with a bang. The most unsettling moment is watching Banzai using his string to stand up like a corpse being pulled up like a puppet. I was a bit broken up from seeing that image, but he's not ending on the whimper because in his final move, he has bombs to kill everyone with him. At the same time, Takechi is about to crash to the device to postpone the weapon. It all leads to one final word. Shinsuke, perform a miracle. I could not handle this chapter when I was reading through the entire pages, when I was reading each of his panel. I couldn't handle it. If I were to live reaction, you would see me actually in tears. Maybe not as much as anyone else's, but I was really whimpering no. I was going mad, man, saying no, no, no! I was just going crazy to think that this series has Gintama to kill off so many characters in this one arc. I know it's the last arc, but the way they had to portray them to die is just downright depressing. What can I say? This chapter is wonderful, tragic, and perfectly shows why this series isn't easy to read on what will happen. It may bring many laughs, but it's not afraid to break many hearts. It's stunning to watch their final stand. It's beautiful to watch Banzai's development come into the perfect circle. And it's heartbreaking to see them go. Rest in peace, Banzai. Takechi, thanks for all the great moments. Why do I even bother to say the grade? Isn't it obvious? I'm giving it a 10.
Unfriggin' believable.
It's amazing that before this chapter, I thought it was just a bluff. I thought they would just come back alive and well. Maybe not too well, but at least they will be alive. But Sorochi just knows how to rip people's heart away. What makes it worse is that there is a great possibility there's going to be an extended scene of this final words from these two. And it happens before with other death scenes, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an extended version of it. My main concern is how Takeshi is going to react to this moment. He may not break in tears, but he will reflect on something, and he probably will hold it on until the war is over. And just the mere thought, there's only 2 survivors right now. I mean, there may be others back at the battleship, but right now I only see 2, and it's just depressing. What are your thoughts of this chapter? Am I seriously asking that? I know what you're thinking already. This chapter got me tore up, and man, I still can't believe it. I don't even know if I'm ready to see the animated version. We don't even know if the anime will go to the war arc or they will continue off with the comedy arcs that they have skipped. And I'm hoping that's the case because I want to laugh again. I want to enjoy the series in a polite way rather than in a dark path. Only time will tell. Right now, I just need to lie down. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.